Yes, everybody, welcome back to the Fixture List. Stephen Howson.
Joe Smith.
Well done.
Thank you.
No problem.
Got it right.
Right, we got some stuff to talk about. We're going to talk about some internationals, because there's some internationals coming up.
There is.
There's some other sports that need discussing. We've got
Steve versus Joe as well.
Steve versus Joe, episode 3.
2-0 to Joe Meister at the minute.
If it goes 3-0,
yeah,
we're doing pizza and rum eating next time round, right?
Okay, all right. Yeah, who's got the most kids? That's the competition next time. Steve's a favourite. I reckon, give me a weekend and I can have a few on the way.
So who's come forward? And Joe?
We'll see. Anyway, it's a football challenge this week, so hopefully I'm going for that 3-0. I'm going for that 3-0. I'm putting the pressure on. What else we got to talk about before that?
Right, before we get into that then, Kieran Trippier. I think the news has been warming up a little bit. Now he's going to the Euros. So I think any move before the Euros, this week, like when they're just getting ready to go, can you be, I mean, imagine being Gareth Southgate. Okay. That's sad.
Hand me my waistcoat.
But imagine being like, if you're the England manager, if you're any international manager, you would have surely gone, right, there's my squad. Now I've named it. You lot are training every day. Can I go to the toilet? No, you can't go up to Carrington to do a medical.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
It's, if you want to do that, wait till we've been inevitably knocked out in the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
I tell you what, book it for the weekend of the semi-finals. You'll be fine.
You'll be great. I like it when players do that. It's like, I had to miss my wedding because we got to the semi-final. It's like, why did you do that? There was a Wales player that had to do that, wasn't there, in 2016, I think.
For the quarters or
something. Like, mate, you only had to win 3 games to get there. It wasn't like it was the biggest miracle of all time. Just wait till the end. But yeah, it would be weird when players leave and going for medicals, and I'm sure occasionally people have to leave the England camp to fly to Italy or Germany or Spain or whatever, go and fill in a medical, go and complete a medical. It is, but I mean, hopefully we get some players signed before the Euros start.
I don't think we're going to.
Well, Trippier was the one you were talking about.
Yeah, I think it'll happen. I actually do think it'll happen as well, because it just feels like who's making clicks out of that. Like, so I think it's probably a likely one to happen, but I just don't see it. I mean, you're talking a week tomorrow. We're in there. Well, England don't play till a week on Sunday, I guess, but we're in there. Tournament starts, opening ceremony, all that sort of stuff.
Did they have any opening ceremony for the Euros?
Probably not as fucking.
Just some bloke with one flag going around, isn't it? A flag that's got all the flags of the Euros on it.
Barry from EastEnders.
Yeah.
We're going to kick off anyway.
But it's Friday. We're going to kick off anyway. I love that video. It's so good. Surely we can put a little clip of it in.
We're going to do it anyway.
Have we got £20 spare? Let's book him.
Let's get the licence.
Let's get him. No, let's get him.
Yeah,
Can't imagine he's more than 20 quid. All right, plus VAT. You know, he's not cashing out.
22 quid.
Yeah, sound.
Sensational.
Go on, Barry, let's do it.
So Trippier,
we're going to book him anyway.
Do you think Trippier fits in at United? To me, he ticks a lot of the boxes. He's the right age for what, you know, as sort of an understudy or a backup to Wan-Bissaka. He's the right kind of price. They're looking between 10 and 20 million. He's fits the profile. He's English. He's played in England before. He's better going forward than Wan-Bissaka. It makes a lot of sense. It's the perfect sort of Glazer signing, isn't it?
Give Wan-Bissaka the night off occasionally, and when you're playing a team that's definitely going to low block you, Aaron,
let's say you're Norwich, for instance, that sort of team, your newly promoted teams. I think it's a
one of
good
them
idea
always
to have
goes
something
for
like
it though. One of them
they do. Do you remember when Norwich beat City and just battered them? It was like 2 years ago, and everyone was like, "Oh, this is going to happen." Then City were just ace, and Norwich got relegated. Yeah, good though. So Trippier, think it's happening?
I think so.
Yeah.
And I wonder if his flanking teammate might join him.
Jadon Sancho.
Or Jadon Sanchez.
Jadon Sanchez. I call him Jadon Sancho, which is a rarity around here these days. You think that's going to happen as well?
I wonder if we can keep getting it. I mean, because it's purely just something we started as a laugh.
Yeah.
I wonder if we can get it into the lexicon somewhere.
Maybe. As people say it on video comments sometimes.
Do they?
Yeah. Do you think that's happening then, Sancho?
I think we want it to happen. I'm gonna go off the deep end here, and I've exhausted my contacts who might have any idea, and so that was Rio, right? And I was like, just fucking text him and ask him if he's coming. He's like, I already have done. Ronaldo, and he says not a chance. But I'm like, does that mean there's not a chance though, or does that mean he was like, I can't tell you?
I think it means not a chance. I'm answering that question.
Maybe.
Right, like, oh, you're going to no, not a chance. We're not going in there. We're not talking about that because surely there's not a chance he's coming. I mean, I think United still want him. He was ready to come last year. You've heard Dortmund people coming out and saying there was a gentleman's agreement in place. If the right bid comes in, he can go. That was in regard to comparing him to Haaland, where there isn't that same agreement in place. If you're coming out and saying there's a gentleman's agreement, if Ed Woodward came out and said there's a gentleman's agreement with Paul Pogba, if the right offer comes in, he can leave. We wouldn't be sat here going, Pogba's staying, would we? You'd be going, he's leaving for sure. Where's he going? So I think Sancho's got to go. I don't think the plan for Sancho at Dortmund was ever, I'm going to spend my whole career at Dortmund.
No.
They're probably not going to get any more money from him in the future than they are now, because his potential is at its maximum, and he's still got 3 years left or 2 years left on his contract. I think if he signs another contract, who knows, if he doesn't have the same seasons as he's been having, or he doesn't continue to improve, they're going to get 50, 60 million rather than 80, 90 million. So this seems like the summer for me to do it. And I think United are surely the front runners. Yeah,
and on Ronaldo, when you try and logic your way through where he could possibly go, there's not many. You're talking maybe 3 clubs, maybe.
Yeah, PSG, City.
I don't think that's an option.
No. PSG, United, and maybe back to Madrid.
I think they've already ruled that out.
So it's PSG or United then, isn't it?
And maybe Lisbon. Who's paying for that? Him.
Yeah, exactly. I'll pay my own bus fare. Do you think that's going to happen? It's 37 next year.
I actually don't think age is real for him.
No.
I can't wait till it comes out how much of a cyborg he is.
Yeah.
There's no way he just goes to bed.
No.
No, he's sleeping in jelly and
It's something, yeah. It's making a humming noise, whatever he's in.
There's a creepiness about him.
Yeah, there is.
He's so athletic and so in good shape.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's borderline sort of sacrificial virgins at the top of a volcano stuff, isn't it?
I bet you Googled it.
Yeah.
I bet you Googled it.
Would it help?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I'm going to do
Are
it.
vampires real? Do they score 20 goals a season?
Yeah. If I have metal legs, is that better? Do you know what I mean? That kind of thing. So, yeah. The thing with him is, at some point, I think he's going to have an injury that's like a 6-monther or like a bad ankle, a bad knee, something like that, where you think he just doesn't recover right. Because he is dead old. Like, his fitness is still there.
That's when a goat gets the old...
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, who knows? But I think Sancho is more like one.
Yeah, I'm not why I'm humming that. I'm more humming at the thought of Ronaldo and sacrificing goats rather than I wonder is Sancho. Is Sancho more likely than Ronaldo? Yeah, by magnitudes. But I actually think there feels something in Ronaldo, which is nuts to even suggest that, because I'd have laughed at everyone saying that. But it does look like he's leaving Juventus. It doesn't look like there's a million places to go. And I think our board sometimes spend mad money on stupid follies.
And the other thing as well is, he wouldn't even be mad money. He was 100 million when he went to Juve 3 years ago. He hasn't signed a new deal. He is 3 years older. You're looking at 40, 50 million.
It's still mad money for
It's mad money, but
player.
that's Van der Beek and Fred money.
Yeah,
and you're getting the best player of all time. Yeah. I know he's 37, but...
There's no resale value.
No, absolutely not. But you make that in shirts, or Adidas makes that in shirts. It's one of them where I could see it, even though I do think, it's probably not quite as low.
And again, the squad's so unbalanced. There's so many areas that need major surgery, not just a little bit of a polish, but like actual major surgery. You've just signed up a striker in his 30s in Cavani. I could definitely see them going, ta-da, we got Ronaldo. And you're like, we didn't need a Ronaldo, we need a fucking midfield. Jesus. Because you're going to be like, oh, now we've got Cavani and Ronaldo. You go, cool, it's still Fred passing them the ball.
Yeah. God, we need a midfield. And we need a winger as well. We need a right winger. Ronaldo isn't that.
It could literally be the case where we go, ta-da, there's Ronaldo, and we go, fuck's sake, because that's all we're getting.
Yeah. If we get him, that's our main Christmas present, isn't it?
Yeah. There might be some stocking fillers.
Is that Ronaldo-shaped thing with wrapping paper around it stood like that underneath the tree? Is that Cristiano Ronaldo?
Humming. With that like UV glow going on.
Yeah. That's him, isn't it? He's got an IV with children's blood in it. Yeah, that's Ronaldo. Okay, thank you, Mum. Cheers. I did want a striker, I suppose, so cheers. Thanks.
Yeah, but 10 years younger or more.
Yeah.
Or 15 years younger.
Yeah.
Or 20 years younger. What the fuck? Oh my God. So we got some international friendlies. Now, obviously, England played last night, but we're recording this yesterday, so we don't know how that went. So, whichever happened. Yeah. So we have got Spain versus Portugal, though, tonight, or tomorrow, is a very interesting one. Very interesting one.
Yes.
How do you see that going?
I don't know. I think it's one of them where you kind of expect it to be like a little foreshadowing of the tournament, but then you also think whoever wins this one will lose it again if they play in the Euros. Because it's almost like it's too perfect in it. I don't know, it's going to be a good one though. I would say two of the maybe top 2 or 3 favourites of the tournament.
Yeah, I think Portugal are being slept on a little bit because of the way they won the Euros, where they like snatched it. People are like, oh, they're a bit of a snatchy team, but they're not. They're a team that actually can play football, has got strength in every single position up the pitch. And I make them a very strong, probably second favourite behind France. And I think you're right, this game Friday night, Spain are a lot of people's favourites because of what they've achieved in near history. I don't think they've got the balance across the side.
No, they're still struggling for a real number 9, aren't they, I think? And
Adama Traore's probably going to start from.
Yeah, I mean, it's that front line that's not what it... Remember when they had Villa, Torres, David Silva?
Well, Pedro played a lot for him.
Yeah, Pedro was good as well.
For him, so.
But yeah, that midfield, that sort of colossal midfield where they had 10 of the sort of 15 best midfielders in the world to choose from for 10 years. They don't have that anymore. But it's still going to be a good game and a good one to sort of warm you up, wet your whistle for the tournament, because 2 big teams, kind of a local rivalry as well, if you can have such a thing in international sport, which of course you can. That would be definitely a good one to watch.
You got Italy playing the Czech Republic. Italy waning a little bit at the moment, not as strong as they were, but seemingly do bits in tournaments.
Yeah, I saw their team get announced the other day, and if I'm being brutally honest, they have got 2 decent players. They've got like Verratti and Jorginho, and that like Chiellini's 50, Bonucci, like their attackers. They've got Bernardeschi and those sort. Like it's like there's hardly a world class player amongst them these days.
No, you got Donnarumma, but have you seen the situation with what's going on in Milan?
He's meant to be leaving, isn't he? And running out
Yeah,
his
but
contract.
do you know why?
No.
I think it was a bit of Raiola fuckery that blew up in his face.
Didn't know that. See, it's going to happen eventually, isn't it?
But I'm kind of glad it has, and I'm also kind of glad it wasn't at United yet that it's happened. But you see that there's a lot of backlash against a homegrown Milanese player in Donnarumma getting abused by his own fans because of Mino Raiola's actions as his agent. Now, I'm not saying that he's entirely blameless and he was held hostage to do whatever Raiola wanted. He's probably had a hand in it himself, but poorly advised. Yeah. And who knows where he's going to end up now.
And in Italy, do you know in England there's like the Paul Pogba one is like some people don't like him to be, and then they forgive him and then they come. In Italy, it's like once you're gone, you're done. Like Icardi at Inter, he was like their captain, he was their talisman. You fuck around for a little bit, see you later, we don't care anymore. And Donnarumma, who cares, you've been our first choice goalkeeper since you were 17. If you're taking the piss, see you later. So
yeah, so they've called him a money grabber and greedy and all this sort of stuff. Mino Raiola's name is dirt. Rough, I think it's going to be for him, but I'm sure he'll land on his feet because he's a hell of a goalkeeper.
He is.
And he's obviously one of the standout players for them. You've got Wales against Albania.
Worth a watch. Wales are sort of always a bit of a surprise package, aren't they? A lot of their players that, when they did so well in 2016, it's the same players, but they're just 4 years older. Ramsey and Bale.
Well, even like Williams and that's moved on now, so I think
Robson
you're lacking
Carno's,
some of that experience.
I don't think he's been selected.
Dylan Levitt's in the squad though, from a United angle.
Worth watching. Not had the best of seasons on loan. He's struggled a little bit, but it's good that he's still in that squad.
Ballsy as well to just go, I'll just go Croatia, shall I? Like, people are like...
Yeah.
What?
Interesting.
And yet to a team no one had heard of as well. It's not like it went to a big team or anything, just some random Croatian side. England play Romania, which this is the problem with England for me, and I covered this yesterday in a video, so I won't go into too much detail. England for me are competent and practiced in dealing with teams that are 20 places below them in the rankings, and they turn up and they do a great job at smacking them up. But they are not prepared, either mentally, tactically, or even sometimes physically, to deal with those big hitters, your top 5 teams in the world, your Belgiums, your Portugals, your Spains, your Germanys, your France, Italys. And I think, why are we playing these games? Why aren't we doing what Spain and Portugal are doing and playing like a little round robin amongst those?
Because we never play those big teams. When you look at the World Cup qualifiers, it's usually us, and then it'll be like the other big team will be Poland or Switzerland or someone of
Croatia,
that kind of 15 to 30 level, or maybe sometimes Switzerland sneak up there.
Guff.
But like
Malta,
same
San
for the
Marino,
Euros,
Slovenia.
It's like we need to play France and Italy and Spain and Germany and Belgium more often, because you see when we do, and we talked about it on Paddock yesterday, we just lose every game. Every time we play a big team in an international tournament, we lose.
Not practiced in playing.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's a problem with the qualifying system. I think you should have, every group should have 3 good teams in it at least. And maybe you have a separate qualifying group, a sort of pre-qualifiers for the teams that are 50 to 100 in the world or in Europe, because otherwise, like I said, you never play these big teams, and when it comes around to it, you just don't know what to do.
And people go, oh, you're denying San Marino the opportunity to go to a World Cup. They're not fucking going.
Yeah.
Right? They are a literal pub team.
Yeah.
Literal pub team.
But like, do you know what they do with the Champions League? And like, there are qualifiers in the summer before you get to the group stages. Some clubs have to have won 2 or 3 games already. It's like the FA Cup does the same thing. The Euros does this, the European Europa League, does the same thing, where some people have to qualify before the group stage. And I think that would be a good idea, because some of these teams that just never win anything, they might actually have a chance of winning some games, because it's Faroe Islands versus San Marino versus Georgia versus whoever. And that, again, it allows the bigger teams to actually have a chance of playing each other before you get to a tournament.
There's a company called 21st Club. I think it's just been renamed to 21st Group because they've just acquired some stats and data sort of analysis. And they did something, because this conversation came up when England played San Marino not too long ago. And it was, how shit actually are San Marino? Now, 21st Group did this study, and they said the distance from the top of the Premier League to the bottom of the stats that we actually compile and rank. So they don't rank every team in like Paddock aren't ranked, right? Sadly. But the distance from the Premier League to the bottom of the teams that they rank, which is the bottom of Conference North, essentially. Right. So the 6th level, I might actually be in the 7th level of English football, is greater than the distance between the bottom of that and where San Marino are.
Really?
Yeah. So they are at least 7 leagues lower than Conference North.
Yeah.
Which puts them firmly in Stretford Paddock sort of ballpark. Now, that's not me saying we'd beat them. It's like they're ranked around about that level. If I was like, good afternoon, St George's Park, would you like a friendly with Stretford Paddock? Hello?
Yeah, exactly.
So why are we allowing the likes of San Marino and stuff like that, these opportunities? I panned the Nations League when it first came out. I was like, just rebranding of friendlies and it's bollocks. But actually, I think it's one of the best things that's happened to national football, because you play the team above you and the team below you in the rankings. And the likes of Luxembourg and San Marino and Liechtenstein are getting draws, and they're like, oh God, yes!
Because they play each other. It's a league table system for international football, and it works. I think it's very good.
So maybe that you have to flip the World Cup qualifying. Have you seen what they do in South America, by the way?
No.
It's a fucking massive league. And it's like, top half qualify, bottom half don't.
Yeah. Fair.
What if we had 2 or 3 divisions of international football, and your Premier League are the ones that get to go to the World Cup?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's nuances that we'd need to look at, but I just think it gives the bigger teams a chance to play each other. It still allows smaller teams to actually win some games, because you're not playing...
Well, it'd be a league, so you can move up.
Yeah, I think it's good.
Because, like, what's the point of just throwing Malta in as, like, the 5th seed in a thingy with England? Are they going to win? No. But they get competitive football. So I think you would actually increase the interest in international football, because how many times you see England have a flawless qualifying record? It's happened under like Steve McLaren. And like, it's happened under some shit managers. And then we get to a World Cup on the back of like absolutely tear-assing through qualification. Think we're amazing. First roadblock we get to, like it's not fit for purpose in my opinion.
No, I agree. But anyway, England-Romania, I'll watch it.
I mean, what else am I doing on a Sunday?
Exactly.
So yeah, I mean, you got Belgium-Croatia. That's probably a more interesting game, I would have think. I'll tell you what, I'm not watching Luxembourg and Scotland.
No. I mean, Scotland had qualified, so it might be worth a watch, but generally speaking, I can wait till the Euros to see Scotland play England, I think.
I'm not watching that game. Guess what? If you're Scottish, you're not watching that game either, let's be honest.
No,
so that's what's going off in terms of the friendlies. Is there any horse racing on?
There's always horse racing on, isn't there?
Well, yeah, we used to say that, and then there wasn't any horse racing on for months because of that cough that everyone had.
Yeah.
Was it on this week?
There should be. I mean, someone ought to know, really.
Let's ask Joe. Joe from gg.co.uk. How's it going?
Very good, gents. Looking forward to a good weekend's racing.
What is the race that we need to be looking out for this weekend?
The race this weekend is the Epsom Derby, and it is going to be an absolute cracking race. The Derby is the most valuable race in Britain. So you're looking at over £1.5 million in prize money at the Derby this weekend.
I've got that it's the 242nd running. Is that consecutive, or is it had a year off anywhere?
No years off that I can remember. There might have been during the war, actually, but last year we managed to get it on despite the COVID. So, yeah.
Did the horses have to wear masks?
No.
Can do that, because they'd have been big, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Aerodynamically, not great.
No. You just have to put a bit of bacterial spray on the hoofs.
On the hoofs?
Yeah.
All right, that makes a lot of sense. Right, who are we looking out for then? Who is going to be winning the Epsom Derby?
Well, your go-to man in the Derby in recent years has been Aidan O'Brien. So he's trained 6 of the last 9 winners. But the danger is trying to find which one's actually going to win, because he usually sends about 4 or 5 horses to the Derby. So he's had winning favourites in that time, and he's also had winners at 40-1 and 25-1. So, they can pop up from anywhere from his sort of yard. Aidan O'Brien's got the race favourite, Bolshoi Ballet. So he's probably going to go off around even money. But the one that I'm looking out for, he's a monster price, Sir Lamarack. So he's 33-1 at the minute.
And he's trained by Aidan as well?
He actually won about 40 minutes after Bolshoi Ballet last time. And he actually won in a quicker time than Bolshoi Ballet. He's young, he's progressive. I think he's going to handle the track. I just think he's got plenty going in his favour, and he's a decent price.
Anyone else we should be looking out for? we've got John Leaper's won a couple of races this campaign. We've got Mona Hef, Third Realm, apparently also in for a bit of a shout. High Definition.
Yeah, High Definition's been the favourite for most of the winter, but Bolshoi Ballet sort of usurped him. But John Leaper, he's a really interesting horse. His dam, so that's his mum, is a horse called Snow Fairy, and she won the Oaks in 2010. So it would be a proper fairy tale story for the connections if John Leaper can win.
Why is there a horse called John?
John Leaper, it's named after the trainer's dad. John Leaper is. So yeah, it's a really interesting story.
I like the sound of High Definition, me. Got a little bet on that one. Put 1080p on it.
Are you going for that one, are you?
Yeah.
I might have to go with Bolshoi Ballet. Who was the one that was 33? You say Sir Lamarack?
Yeah.
Sir Lamarack, yeah. So he'd be my one that I'd chuck a token few quid on.
Is he a real Sir, or is it more of a nickname?
Like Sir Kill-A-Lot from Robot Wars. I don't think he was a real knight of the realm.
How'd you bend the knee on that little... Do you see the stool that they have? There's like a little stool.
It's not going to work, is it?
It's not a real Sir, is it?
No, I don't think he's been knighted, but you'll have to ask him, to be honest. I'm not sure.
All right. Well, Joe, thank you very much. So run us through those again. The tips that you've got for this weekend.
Yeah, so it's Sir Lamarack for me in the Derby. I think he's a cracking price. I think he's got plenty going in his favour. And yeah, I think 33-1 is a very good price.
Sound. And where can everyone get extra racing tips ahead of the Derby this weekend?
If you want your tips, there's only one place to go, gg.co.uk. That'll have everything for Epsom this weekend and for Royal Ascot in a couple of weeks' time.
Oh yeah, we're thinking about getting frocks for that, aren't we?
Oh, that'd be good, wouldn't it?
Right. Check out gg.co.uk in the description below. And Joe, nice one. Nice to speak to you, pal. See you in a bit.
Cheers for that, gentlemen. Thank you.
So this Northern Boys Association.
Yes, also known as the NBA. It's where the basketball...
The NBA.
The NBA.
Right.
Simple. It's the NBA, it's the Basketball Association, if I'm being honest.
The NBA.
I would call it the NBA.
You call it the Premier League. Yeah, I guess you do.
Yeah, the National Basketball Association. And this is the playoffs, Steve. You know American sports.
Playoffs!
None of this league nonsense. Well, there is a league, but we don't care about it. It's whoever's in the top. I mean, I'm not going to go into the play-in tournament. I'm not going to go into any of that. Let's just say the best teams have made their way to the playoffs.
Okay.
So we've got 8 of the best teams from each of the 2 NBA conferences. You've got your Eastern Conference and you've got your Western Conference. And yes, I've done that the wrong way around, but for the viewers, that was spot on. So the favourite overall is the
Chicago Bulls.
It's not the Chicago Bulls, and I know you've watched The Last Dance a few times, haven't you?
I think it might be 10.
Really? Is it your favourite documentary ever?
Shit, it might be.
Well, we're on the first round, and I'll be honest with you, Steve, the Chicago Bulls haven't made it to the playoffs, unfortunately. The favourites...
Foiled again.
Yeah, the favourites are... They haven't made it very often since Michael Jordan left, in all
I
honesty.
wonder if that related.
I don't think so. The favourites are the Brooklyn Nets, who have got, and you'll probably recognise these names, Kyrie Irving.
Jay-Z.
No.
He's involved though, doesn't he own him?
I'm not sure. Don't know all the details. Do you know Kyrie Irving? Heard of his name?
I've heard that he was in trouble this week because someone threw something at him.
Yeah, someone threw some popcorn at him.
Okay.
I think it was him, or it was a bottle of water. One of them was Russell Westbrook, I can't remember now. Have you heard of Kevin Durant? Nope. Okay. Have you heard of James Harden?
Yeah.
Right, the beard.
Yeah.
They all play on the same team, which is astonishing because they're like three of the best players in the
the
NBA.
number stuff,
Yes.
when you get 3 top players on one team, it's game over, innit?
They tend to win.
Actually, Pippen, Rodman, Jordan stuff.
Yeah, that's that. I mean, in all honesty, none of those three that I mentioned there are as good as Jordan, but the other two are better than Rodman. But they're just all-out attackers.
But are they having relations with Carmen Electra?
They might well be. I don't know. Maybe
Okay.
Carmen Electra's sort of 2020s equivalent. But they're the best team in basketball, quite comfortably. They just can't defend very well. But they don't need to because they score 130 points a game. On the Western Conference, you've got the Lakers. Now, this is the big one. Lakers, first round, obviously led by LeBron James. They've got Anthony Davis in there as well, who's one of the best players in the game.
He's not always been there, and did he play for Cleveland or something?
LeBron? Yeah, he's played for Cleveland, then he played for Miami, then he played for Cleveland again, then he played for the Lakers.
Has he been at the Lakers long?
He's been at the Lakers for 2 years. This is his third season. They won it last year. So the Lakers are the defending champions. They've got LeBron James and Anthony Davis. That's their power duo.
Don't know who the other guy is.
He's good, but he's injured.
Oh, no.
Yeah, they're playing against the Phoenix Suns, who haven't been in the playoffs since 2011. First round, they're currently 3-2 down. LeBron can't get it done at the minute. He's 37 years old, I think, or 36. He's just come back from an ankle injury. That's where the riskiness is. 3-2
So we're talking a possible Game 7 situation here.
Well, it's best of 7, as you know. Possible Game 7 situation. They need to win 2 on the bounce, and they got destroyed by the Phoenix Suns the other night.
That seems to
30
happen a lot,
points.
though.
Yeah.
In the midst of all this lot, there's a mad, crazy result, and they still lose anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So it's going to be an exciting one. That's the one to watch. Lakers versus the Phoenix Suns. All the rest of it.
When's this on? Saturday, Sunday?
Yeah, I think it's over the weekend.
Might try tuning.
Yes, that is the big one. On the other side, like I mentioned, the Nets, they're already through. They won 4-1. They beat...
Levered them.
Yeah, absolutely levered the Boston Celtics. Easy. I mean, you know, it's very one-sided, that league on that side. So,
What?
sort of like, do you know how like Rangers are in the Scottish division? Sort of the Brooklyn Nets might as well be Rangers, is how I'd put it. They're already through. Then you've got the Milwaukee Bucks. They're looking like they're through. They're looking good as well. Basically, watch the Lakers. If you're interested in basketball, if you watch it, watch the Lakers. That's the game to watch because LeBron James might be going out.
You think
in
it's
the
going to be
first
Nets and
round.
Lakers in the finals?
I don't, because the Lakers are struggling. I think it might be the Clippers, but the Lakers are the one to watch because LeBron James might go out in the first round of the playoffs for the first time in his career.
Wowzers.
He's getting toward the end of his career now, and without Anthony Davis, it's looking like he can't do it. So keep an eye out for that one.
Interesting. So I do want to actually get into it a little bit
Yeah.
because I like I said, I did absolutely fall in love with that documentary. Like, obviously, you know, I was a teenager, like 96, 97, 98, when they was absolutely smashing it. And Jordan did break through that sort of cultural barrier.
Oh,
So
yeah.
did Rodman in a massive way, to be honest, for multiple reasons. He was off his head. But like, 96, I was music with the Oasis and football with Cantona and I was well aware of what was going on, but like this predates like cable being a big thing. We had Sky, but they didn't show basketball on
You
that.
had to get the
So it
results
was-
in the newspaper.
I mean, I don't even remember ever seeing results. They were just like, they would be in like magazines and stuff like, and it would be things on about that. So I never really like got to watch it to fall in love with it. So it was always kind of like, I'm aware of it, but if it's on, like, because you watch it in here, you watch it quite regularly, I know.
Yeah.
So when it's on in here, I'll sometimes watch, and obviously, look, The Last Dance was a phenomenal documentary. Loved watching it. Loved like, I'm big into like the process of how people train and get ready for it and stuff like that. And I love those interviews that was in it. So I would actually love to start following a team. It's going to have to be Bulls in it.
Yeah, I
as
think
shit
it's-
as they currently are.
What I would say is, if you're going into it now, you get to pick a team, pick one in the Eastern Conference, because generally they play 2 or 3 hours earlier.
Right.
Because the Lakers, all their home games are at 3 a.m.
So it's like UFC stuff.
Yeah, so pick another one. You get to.
So it
you
might
get
be
to watch
about
them.
midnight.
Yeah, midnight, 1 a.m. You might have a chance of actually watching them. So yeah, that's the game. Lakers
It's
versus
gonna have to be the Bulls, I think.
Suns. Go for the Bulls.
It's got to be on it.
Yeah, they
it's gotta
are undoubtedly shit.
You can't be accused of being a glory hunter.
Absolutely not. Although you did pick them
Former-
because of what Michael
former
Jordan
glory
did.
hunter.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I picked him because he was the cultural breakthrough.
Yeah, fair enough.
That alerted me to this game of bouncing the ball around. Right, I think it's time for Steve versus Joe, episode 3.
Episode 3. And you got to get some points on the board.
You're fucking not wrong.
What we're doing?
Footer.
Footer. Finally, a bit of football. The Euros are coming up.
Yeah. And maybe next week will be football as well.
Well, the
And
Euros are
maybe
still
because
coming
we're wearing the same clothes, maybe we didn't just film both of them today. Maybe we went out next week as well. You'll have to wait and find out, won't you?
Dad, you alright? No. 2 kicks to the floor.
What's going on, big lad?
I'm fucking done.
Yeah?
I think we're going home.
Steve's it himself. You still got to do it, though.
I can't fucking do it. I don't know if I just try to take a penalty.
You can do penalty shootout.
I obviously can't if I just try to fucking do it.
Number one.
Fucked up. Took a couple of shots to warm up and I pulled my quad.
So that's probably going to be the end of that one, isn't it, Steve? What the fuck? Let's just hit a montage of me whipping some top bins as well. Watch the swaz on this. Adam, ball. Knee, hand, foot. Go on, head! Have that! Shit, there's a car there, sorry. I'm gonna hit the car, but it's in the game, lads. See you later.
Check out gg.com for horse racing tips this weekend and we'll try and do something that isn't going to break me next week. Bastard.